What happened? What's going on, man? This is how crazy streaming is right now. To the point where not necessarily a role that isn't significant, because the cameraman is a very vital and significant role, especially to do streams in a certain type of way. But once upon a time they didn't have that much exposure, but now streaming has gone so crazy to now we're having streamer and cameraman beef, bro. 5 years, 8 years ago, this would not be flipping happening. You can kind of say kind of like the music and producers and that, there's some legendary producers, but overall producers and that were kind of in the shadows, and now they're coming more to the light and that. So that's exactly what's going on, from behind the camera to in front of the camera. Let's see. Man's got his 15 minutes of shine.
What's poppin', y'all? It looks like DDG's issues with this
Let's see what's
cameraman are going
on.
further than just the most recent guy he had to fire at Streamer University, who is terrible because his old cameraman is starting to speak out as well.
But my take on
Yeah, man, DDG be moving like flipping Nick Cannon and that, bro. You get me? When it comes to how much cameraman he has and that, bro. You get me? Come like baby mamas. You see what I did there? Nick Cannon, camera. My bad.
My biggest take on cameramen when they say they're not getting paid enough is, if that's the job and that's what you agreed on with the pay.
Streamer University, DDG, Kaisenat, Tyler sitting down. Man, like DDG was saying Kaisenat can be his cameraman. And then Kaisenat was like something like, how much would you pay me? And then DDG said 2K a month. And then Kaisenat said 2K a month. Then DDG said, you know, and then you wake your way up or you work your way up. I was like, ooh, that's telling there still. It was telling.
If that's the job and that's what you agreed on with the pay, and you need more money, like it's being said, you have a lot of opportunities to make more money. So whether it was the clip of us reacting to Tylil's cameraman was saying, make content. You could make your content and still make money. You can create a clothing brand, make money. You have a lot of connections. I think the connections that you get from the job matter more than the money being made. I think connections in the long run make you the money that you want to make in any job.
And connections is just life in general. It's not even as to a specific industry. No matter what you do, and that we're self-employed, work for but connections, most important thing.
Any position, wherever you are, connections matter way more. And from there, okay, cool. I'm getting paid. Me personally, I'm getting paid whatever I'm getting paid. If I want more money in life, I will go find the time to go make more money. If you work a regular job, whether it's McDonald's or whatever corporate job you have, if you want to make more money and you want it that bad, wake up earlier, focus on a business. Go to sleep later, focus on a business. That business gets to the point where it's making you a lot more money, then that's when you start deciding, do I leave something that's been comfortably giving me money for X amount of time and take that leap of faith on this business that I've been growing on the side? And that's where next stage of life comes. But that's my take on what was just being said.
So he gives.
And obviously, I don't know what the problem is because I don't really know the details or whatever. But it also does seem like if you go into a 9 to 5, you're pretty much accepting whatever they give you because you've literally signed a contract. But because it's the streaming world and content creation and that, brother, and there's no necessary like cap on how much a content creator can make, and you get what I'm trying to say. Like, there's no real limit on that, bro. So I feel like everyone that comes into it, no matter their role, it's like they expect that as well. They see how much money certain people that they're being a cameraman for is getting, and that the lifestyle they're in, like, I want that as well. But you're not paying the exact same, even though what you're doing is vital 100%, but you're not the streamer. But I don't know the details though, so I'm gonna stop talking now.
But that's my take on what was just being said.
So he gives a fair take to the DDG situation here, saying that, like, listen, if you have a problem with the pay and you're already doing the job, you're not getting blindsided by the pay. You know what the pay is before you take the job. And if you need to figure out another way, or if you need more money, then figure out something on the side. Now, this is where I start to kind of look at it like, look, if your job is to be DDG's main camera guy, right? Like, let's say Wiz Khalifa, right? Wiz Khalifa, he had the day-to-day vlogs. He was a pioneer in that space. He had a guy following him around with a camera for vlogs. That guy, and this is pre-recorded stuff, mind you. We're not talking about live streaming, which is a lot more hours that need to be recorded, but footage needs to be cut. At least with the camera operator for live streamers, you don't have to cut footage and edit footage. That's what these guys had to do. But these guys, and like I also said, D-Rock, the guy for Gary Vee, you don't have time to do something like that. And the job should, quote unquote, should, especially if it's a real job, not just some intern stuff like a personal assistant or something like that in the city that you're with the person, they shouldn't have to constantly be thinking, what can I do on the side? There are certain careers, like or jobs, like he's saying, oh, if somebody's working at, I don't know, like a burger joint or something, that they will have to be thinking about other ways to make money on the side. But those jobs aren't advertised or even seen by most people as something that you would spend a long time at. They're like starter or entry jobs, but that's not what DDG is looking for. So he is being quite cordial. And yeah, if you have to become an entrepreneur while you're, which is already very, very difficult, while you're doing a camera operator job, then you're better off just doing the or not doing the camera operator job and becoming an entrepreneur in that regard. And you have stability where you're staying in one place. You have more time to do that. Now you're getting less money because you're with the camera operator, but you probably don't have crazy expenses that you need to cover in a family. Otherwise, you wouldn't be applying for a job like this. So that's where I disagree with this Ed guy a little bit. And like what ended up with him, he just ended up doing content himself now, which is not safe the way that he's describing, like have something that's consistent. And DDG would blame this guy for being in the situation that he's in right now, where he desperately needs a new cameraman.
Now, when y'all say 3K, the only one thing I have to say, bro, the main reason why I'm going through what I'm going through with this cameraman is because of my last cameraman. Not the guy I just fired, Ed. Let's be real. Ed quit. If Ed would have never quit, I would have still been using Ed. You feel me? And I wouldn't have to do all this extra.
I don't know about that though. I don't know about that. Because like I said, these streamers are kind of like a corporation at the end of the day though. So just like how people will leave a 9 to 5 and go find another job, and people see certain jobs as stepping stones, and bro, managers know that, bro. Employees know that, bro. So that's also something that you're gonna have to take. Just because I don't know how popular it is for a streamer to leave. For how popular it is for a cameraman to leave their streamer. Because from what we know, when it comes to Plat by Mox, Kai, all of these different big streamers and that, bro, we know they're cameramen. They're named in that, fam. They've got names in that. It's like kind of like they're their own personalities now, type of thing. Like, you know who's attached to who. So you could say it's kind of like a new phenomenon, and it's something that only DDG maybe is dealing with. But at the same time, you're a business at the end of the day, bro. This is something that happens, and that when a camera's broke, when something goes wrong on that, bro, it's pretty much the exact same stuff on that, bro. If someone wants to leave, you have to replace it. Well, not replace it, it's a human being, but you get what I'm trying to say, in that you're a corporation, you're a business. These are the things that you're gonna have to deal with in that, fam. You get me? Everyone wants to live the boss lifestyle, but don't want to do what comes with being a boss type of thing. You get me? It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can't blame it on a whole nother man in that, bro. Make sure your operation's good. Make sure your people are good. Have incentives in that, bro, that makes people want to stay in that, fam. You can't just, I don't know what DDG strategies are in that, fam, but like you say, I feel like a big thing when it comes to cameramen is having a relationship with them. So I can understand why DDG even wants a cameraman for a long time. So just like how you would with a girl, bro, learn the personality. What makes them tick on that, bro? What do they like? What do they, you get simple-ish like that, bro? You get what I'm trying to say? Incentives. Learn the person in that, fam. You know what I mean? So you're not going through this every single flipping 3 months or whatever it is.
What's blowing me is, and hey, I know you're gonna see this clip, bro, on some work. No. Never again. Never, ever, 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 ever again. That don't mean I don't fuck with you, but it's like I would never let you film for me again. Ever. And I've been seeing Ed do these goddamn streams every goddamn day, doing cameraman podcasts, doing reactions to everything I say, do. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. That shit blowing me. It's like, this. You only hit my phone and be like, hey, bro, like this and that, blah, blah, blah. He hit my phone to judge the cameraman tryouts. Why make this make sense? Why would you judge some cameraman tryouts and you the reason why I'm doing this? That don't make
No. But that would be good plot though. This is what I'm saying, bro. DDG being his feelings. That's good plot armor. That's good plot armor right there, man. Because he's looking at it the wrong way. You're the reason why I'm in this situation, bro. How is he flipping mind controlling my man, bro? He's a grown man at the end of the day. He's not controlling what this other cameraman does, bro. He is not his mom. He's not his dad and that, fam. You get me? So now that's not the case. That's a good plot right there, man. No word of a lie. Because if he was a bad cameraman, cool. But now he just wanted to go venture off to do his own thing. If he wouldn't have ventured off, he still would have been your cameraman, is basically what I'm hearing. So that's a good plot armor right
no
there.
sense. That shit just blew me, bro. Like, that shit blew me with it, bro. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Because all this shit is going on just because they wanted to quit.
So DDG does have a point here. So DDG is looking at this professionally, right? So he's saying that he doesn't have a personal.
Bro, if he's looking at it professionally, he wouldn't be complaining. Because in the professional world, people are leaving jobs and going to the next place and do people. It comes with the business, man. It comes
Problem
with the
with
business.
this guy, because one of the requirements that DDG has is he's got to vibe with you. He's got to be able to catch a vibe with you and kick it with you off stream on some friend stuff. And you got to be able to do your job. But if you're somebody that's going to kick it with DDG, you're probably about your paper. And if you're about your paper, you are not going to stay in a cameraman job for very long. So this guy did exactly what DDG would do. And what DDG's friends would do. And when he's saying, oh man, you wanted to judge the cameraman competition. So DDG, and this is where I find there to be a level of, I don't know if it's hypocrisy, but I will say it's a misalignment, for lack of a better word. Because DDG now wants a cameraman that does not want to be a content creator and does not want to be a streamer. He has these new requirements.
I realized after my last cameraman, I need someone that is fit. Because there was a lot of clips missed because this person couldn't keep up with me. So I need somebody that is athletic. You feel me?
And I heard that shit you were saying online. What I say? I heard that shit you were saying online. What the fuck, bro? It's the first.
This nigga is getting outpaced by DDG and Suburb Baby. Bro, I only recently started to get active again in like the past month, bro. Other than that, I've been not active for the past pretty much 3 years, bro. Put me on it, I'm outpacing these guys. And I'll give them a head start as well, bro. What the hell is going on? And then he just say, oh shit.
What the fuck, bro?
I said, what the fuck, bro?
It's the first.
Man said, I gotta run, bro. No. These are horrible angles. These are horrible angles. Oh, no.
So on top of being somebody that needs...
No. Get him out of here,
to be
coach.
fit, which is understandable. Like the guy that he was with was very, very overweight, and he wants them not to be a content creator.
I'm
Which
gonna lie though, that's DDG's fault though, bro. Like these are very simple things that is missing at the same time. That's a DDG thing. Like you obviously know that your cameraman's gonna be running and da. Like the fact that you're not a veteran in that, but you've been doing this long enough, man. And you've been around the big guys and all the guys that do this ish for real. You're pretty much one of them. Like you should have known that, bro. Like there's certain things and mistakes that he's making and miscalculations and that at the same time. It's like that's a DDG thing right there, bro.
understandable, but now you have the problem where you are creating a content related event, which is his 24-hour stream that he's doing, finding a new cameraman. And a lot of people were trying to clown DDG and say, oh, you're not paying enough. He said that, and in this, he said the base pay would be $5,000 a month. $5,000 a month, that's $60K a year. You're not getting $60K a year for most jobs. You're just not. And then when people say, oh man, well, I'm doing this job. Yeah, you've had years of experience, or you had to go through a bunch of school, or you had to pay a bunch of money to go through the schooling to get said job. So that's a solid pay, $5,000, but he is getting 12 people and he had to kick off a couple of people because they behaved in a way where they promoted the event, which was supposed to be private, or they weren't supposed to leak it, or they raised their hand when he asked if they wanted to become content creators and join his Capaholics group, which is dead.
If I give you, you know how events work, right? So if I give you 10 bands, right, for winning, when I give you 10 bands, that means you're gonna be streaming me for 2 months. You know that, right? So I don't want no laziness. I ain't getting no money. I just gave you 10.
No. By the way, no, this is some crazy issue. Bro, he numbered them and covered their faces. He said they are getting no promo whatsoever. God damn. But we turn these man into literal numbers, bro, statistics, fam, and covered their faces.
You know what I mean? So that's what it's gonna be. So we agreeing on that. 10,000 at the end.
That is crazy.
2 months of filming. Deal?
I'm not gonna lie, these man's body language are not giving cameraman.
2 months of
Like,
filming.
no one's giving long-term cameraman here.
Deal?
Yes, sir.
I like that. All right. Let me get y'all ages. Okay? Let me get y'all ages down the line real quick.
But you're hosting an event where people have to be content for you. So DDG is treating this like, hey, I should make a content event out of hiring a cameraman. And he's having the chat judge, which I get, this is the thing. The chat doesn't know what good camera work is. They just identify when it's bad camera work. There's like good
Okay. Kind of brought it home a bit. He brought it home a
camera
bit.
work is silent. They're not like, damn, this
Bro,
camera,
man.
this camera work is great. Especially the hive mind of the chat. These people are children. Most of the people watching DDG, they know bad camera work because that's when the content sucks. And they're like, yo, what the hell? We're missing out on something. The audio's not matching the visual. However, with good camera work, they can't tell. So when you ask them to judge what's good, they don't really know. And DDG is not really the one watching either because he's being filmed. So that's difficult. But you have an event for this.
The thing is, though, I feel like that's also hard to believe at the same time. I get what he's saying, but at the same time, you literally, like, you listen to your consumers, bro. You get on, like, when you're a content creator or doing certain things, it doesn't matter whether the people that are watching your videos have been watching content or are professionals in the field that you're producing content in. At the end, that you're producing content for them, so you listen to them. So in a way, it doesn't matter if they're professionals or not. You're providing content for them, so they dictate kind of what goes on. DDG dictates his streams off of chat and the people that watch him, not some random flipping professional thinking that he should do this and strategize this way and that. Nah, chat, what y'all want to do today? Like, it's literally that simple. Pull up to chat. What do y'all want to do today? Like, you get what I'm trying to say? So I get what he's trying to say, but at the same time, though, like, chat dictates what happens.
DDG is not really the one watching either because he's being
50-50.
filmed. So that's difficult. But you have an event for this. You have people show up, wear masks. The type of person that's going to do that is willing enough to get in front of the camera to be not only interviewed, but to have to go through all of these different challenges. That is the mentality of somebody that is willing and wanting to do content. Even if they may not have done it before, or they say they're not going to, they're willing to put themselves out there on that behalf. Versus,
Because you're telling them you're saying that you don't want your next cameraman to be a content creator, but you're literally making them do content
before, or they say they're not going to, they're willing to put themselves out there on that behalf. Versus like someone that really just cares about holding a camera, creative direction, things like that. They won't want to do something like this. Will they go out of their comfort zone to do that? Potentially for the opportunity, because DDG got some people with some good experience there. And that's when people are trying to make fun of him and say, man, nobody's going to do this. I wouldn't do this. He'd have to pay me $15K for this. No experience, never picked up a camera in their life other than their iPhone or their Android. Well, if they picked up an Android camera, actually the Galaxy, that Samsung phone is actually a really good streaming phone. So Android lovers, they will get spared, aka the international viewers. They will get spared today. But he had people that have had experience working for.
Wait a minute, sorry, I zoned out because I was literally thinking in my head, would I do this job? I feel like if I was in the US and that, bro, I'd be a cameraman for like a year or two. No word of a lie. You get me? The people you get to be around and that, bro, you can just stack your bread. Like you said, when you travel, actually, actually, I don't know. In this part of my life, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. From what I'm trying to achieve, maybe not. Actually. But though, if it was a different part of my life, I definitely would for like a year or two and that, bro. You know what I mean? Like just fully.
No experience, never picked up a camera in their life other than their iPhone or their Android. If they picked up an Android camera, actually the Galaxy, that Samsung phone is actually a really good streaming phone. So Android lovers.
Yeah, that's what everyone uses. Bro, I'm telling you, phones now is at a point, bro, where you can't even clown anyone, man. Like every single phone is good, every camera's good. It's just preference now. Like, that's the point we're at now with technology. It doesn't matter about that. It's just preference.
Will get spared, aka the international viewers. They will get spared today. But he had people that have had experience working for other very successful streamers, people working on tours. People have done a lot. So he got qualified people, but I think DDG's asking for too much. He's asking for somebody that he can be cool with and kick it with off camera, but he also doesn't want the person to become a streamer. And this is a problem. This is a problem that Adam 22 has run into, because you see how lucrative it can be to be in front of the camera, especially after the success of Johnny, his first cameraman, and even this guy Ed, who is trying to ride off of the coattails of a DDG, but DDG has to treat it like we need to have a continuing revolving door of content.
Ooh, so that's what I was even trying to figure out. So Ed wasn't even the first cameraman that left. That was Johnny. So technically, isn't it Johnny's fault? Technically, it's John. This is what I'm saying. DDG be too emotional. His judgment be getting clouded, and that surely it's Johnny's fault. Not Ed.
But DDG has to treat it like we need to have a continuing revolving door of content, or not content, of cameramen, and never have one person that we rely on. That's kind of like what Adam 22 figured out, because what businesses used to do before this was they would have people sign a non-compete clause, which is, hey, you come here and you work for this business and you cannot leave and start another business, a competing business, which would be, in this case, you can't become a content creator if you work for me as a cameraman, because that would help you. But I think the FTC, they got rid of non-competes a couple of years ago. I think
FTC. Flight team stand up.
It was 2024. So you can't run and non-compete anymore. So all the people that work for Adam 22 or all the people that work for DDG, there is nothing contractually that he can put in there that says that they can't leave and start their own thing. Which, if you're in the position where you're hiring for business, it kind of sucks, especially for a business like this. Like, you've seen it in, like, a bunch of people are like, oh, I left this content creator's business. They get a bunch of clout off of it. So it sucks if you're in the position of hiring. However, I think it's fair for business because it breeds more competition. So if people leave and they're good enough to maintain an audience off of the job that they were doing, then that says it all. Good job. And what DDG needs to understand, like, he's offering incentives, such as, like, he was saying that dude Ed would have made a bunch of money off of a clothing brand that they were supposed to do together.
Me and Ed, and it's not happening no more. Me and Ed had a clothing line coming out. We had samples coming in. Like, I'm trying, just because I ain't paying a crazy to hold a camera, it does not mean that I'm trying to, like, keep a nigga under. If Ed would have never quit, and he do this a lot, he did it last time we was working together. If he would have never quit, bro, the nigga would have made so much money off the clothes with me. And then on top of that, I had the nigga doing $1 a snap a little bit ago. Not, well, last time we worked together. $1 a snap. It ain't like, bro, I don't know when the nigga ain't getting paid.
Here's the thing. Somebody that, if you want somebody that's talented, that can do a bunch of different things, that's great with the camera and willing to stay there, they need consistent work. Because a couple of people that were, and I watched the stream, I watched all the people introduce themselves. I couldn't watch the whole 24 hours, but you're going to need somebody that believes that this is consistent. A lot of the time, these guys are like, yeah, you know, this person only needed me for a couple of streams, or I only worked with this person for a month or two. Somebody was working with Jay Cinco, and then I think something happened with their family, so Jay Cinco went with another person after having worked with them for 6 months, which is understandable for a Jay Cinco, because he's like, listen, I know you got whatever you got going on with your family, but the show must go on and I need another person. And some people, they just get iced out, as in, hey, I'm going to be taking a break for 2 months. So now the person has to find somebody else to work. So there's a lot of instability in this new field. Like, a camera operator for a live streamer is a very new career. Prior to 2022, most live streamers IRL would be holding their own camera. It would be a selfie stick that they're walking around. So basically, like a Facebook, right? Or like a Google, if you want really talented people, you've got to put golden handcuffs on them. And this doesn't mean pay, but DDG's got.
The maddest thing is, bro, I don't even think it's that hard. This is what I'm saying, bro. If someone like DDG has close proximity to all the guys that have regular cameramen, go have conversations with Kai and all of these different people and that, man, and you should just see what go on. Like, how do they operate and that, bro? Compare it to what you're doing, all of that type of stuff. Yeah, it could just be a case where he might just be choosing the wrong people. It might not even be something that he's doing. If he is giving incentives and making sure that they're taken care of and certain things are paid for when they're traveling and they don't have to lift or should I say spend a penny or whatever, and he's also investing them in different other business ideas and different business lanes and business ventures and da-da-da-da-da. So it maybe might not even be DDG. It might just be his look type of thing. But yeah, you have proximity to all of these guys that have locked in cameramen. Talk to them, bro. See what they do. See what their relationships are like, bro. How did their relationship, what do you call it, develop and that, man? How are they locked
really talented people? You've got to put golden handcuffs on them. And this doesn't mean pay, but DDG's got to make it seem like, hey, listen, you don't want to leave. You do not
That's
want
what I'm
to stream
saying.
because working for
Incentives.
me is so amazing. Like you see Facebook offering, or Meta offering, these AI people ridiculous contracts, ridiculous benefits, money, everything that they could imagine. Because, all right, well, why the hell would I leave and try to start my own thing? It's comfortable as hell over here. And if DDG wants somebody that isn't going to become a content creator or a streamer, because this is where he kind of gets rug pulled, because either he has to constantly have a revolving door of people ready to come work for him, or he has to make it so that they can't leave or find somebody really quickly after. He should run people through a personality test. Run people through a personality test. If they're very introverted, very shy, but great at working a camera, which is exactly what you want, they're unlikely to ever get in front of the camera. But when you're hosting an event, like I said, where people have to get...
You never know though, because naturally I'm an introvert, but it's certain when like you turn the camera on, like even if I, for example, I could go out right now and be in a certain place where I'm quote unquote uncomfortable, large crowd, you're telling me to speak to people, but just on my own accord, on my one, no camera, and it's just like I kind of don't want to do this. Turn that camera on, come on now, man. Like you get what I'm trying to say. So you can say that, but at the same time, I'm telling you, it's a different type of energy when that camera comes on.
To ever get in front of the camera. But when you're hosting
So
an
all the
event,
time,
like I said,
like
where
developing.
people have to get in front of the camera, do challenges, be seen and judged by hundreds of thousands because these things are getting clipped, then yeah, the person that's a little bit more introverted, higher anxiety, they're not going to want to show up to that. And then now you're losing on the person that you say you want because of how you cultivated getting the hire in the first place. So this is where I think it gets a little bit messy. And even with the clothing line, right? DDG's working with that guy at running a clothing line is very, very time consuming, very time intensive. DDG's role would likely be to just wear the clothes and promote the clothes. The cameraman is handling what else? Manufacturing, all this other stuff. So either designing, I think that dude Ed designs the stuff. So what is the cameraman going to do eventually when the clothing brand gets more and more successful? He's going to stop doing the camera work anyway. So even the opportunity that he was giving him so he could stay his cameraman, he would have made a bunch of money, he would have quit being the cameraman to run that if it was successful. Because you don't have a guy that's running the camera work and being a full-time or running a full-time successful brand. Those things don't go together. It takes too much time. And then, or he would have to hire other people to do that. So I think what DDG wants, which is like, he's not going to find it. I think it's too hard to find for the long term. Now, getting a job with DDG is good because you know it's going to be stable. DDG's been in the game for 10 plus years. He's been very consistent. He's at the top of the game. So you know if you get a camera job or camera operator job with him, that you're going to last. If you're good at your job, you're going to be there for a long time. And you have at least, I would say at least like a year. Well, this guy, Ed, he was doing just fine. I think this guy, Ed, I don't know if he'll make it himself because first off, like your initial audience is going to be off of DDG. And I think he just tried to follow the blueprint that the Johnny dude did, which I don't know what that guy did. That guy worked some magic and made it happen. But I think a lot of people are going to realize that they would rather be the camera operator or the person behind the scenes of these things than...
But that's the thing though. Even seeing Johnny and just the way he's moving here, bro. No glaze. He is giving like somewhat like I'm built to be in front of the camera type. It's like, you know, just like someone has like the I'm gonna use these dumbass words. I just said glaze. I'm also use aura as well and that. And aura is such a normal word, but the internet is just made it into some, you get me. But he looks like he has the aura for it. The Ed guy kind of, and he can be calm though. That's the thing. There are content creators that are just calm, but just the way he's even talking, like no. Like you get like, where's the personality? Where's the? And don't get me wrong, you can be like that 100%, but he kind of seems like just like man like Yazin said, he was like following a blueprint. Whereas man like Johnny's like, this is actually what I want to do type of thing. I'm built for this. And I've seen some clips with Johnny and the way he interacted with DDG on camera when he was still actively his cameraman. I was like, he's got something.
They would rather be the camera operator or the person behind the scenes of these things than the dread and the amount of effort it takes to be a live streamer themselves. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. I think the event was good content for DDG, but using it as an actual hiring process, I don't think it fielded for the personality traits that he claims to want. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm gonna see you on the next one.
Yeah, that whole stream idea was definitely counterintuitive for sure. without a doubt, because just like man, like he hasn't said as well, he said you don't want a content creator, but at the same time you're out here doing content with them. So it's like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? And that's the other thing as well, is it may be a thing where you try not to get someone that's quote unquote new in the game, bro. Go scout, not necessarily take someone's cameraman. But if it's a smaller streamer, hey, it's a dog eat dog world, bro. Go look at the smaller streamers, people that actually are at a certain level where they do have their own cameraman and that, bro. Yo, swiping or swiping. You know what I'm saying? I'm just swiping or swiping. You know what I mean? Or just see someone who's good but doesn't have certain opportunities or isn't locked to me, then we're like, you know what I mean? Go for industry standard now instead of trying to go outside the industry and find someone to bring into it and bring up to standard and da. Nah, go find someone that's already in it. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It's your boy Jazz, and I'm out of here. People, man.